Hey guys, welcome to the Live Well, brought to you by Digital Sportsman, where we get together with our community and talk fishing. The show's fixing to start, we're getting everything ready. But in the meantime, we want to tell you about our fine partners that not only make this show possible, but are companies that we absolutely love and stand behind. Groove Fishing, changing the norm of tackle storage. Sonar Pros, specializing in high-end installations across all electronic brands. Go where the pros go. Lip Sticker Fishing, specializing in putting clients on giant Lake Lanier bass. Bill Payne's Guide Service, fish with a legend on Lake Allatoona, seasonal smallmouth trips, or even get your sonar dialed in. Brooks Anderson Fishing, guide trips and educating today's anglers on Lake Lanier. Big League Charters, fish with a pro on Tellico, Fort Loudon, Watts Bar, and Chickamauga. Money Saver Lure Retriever, designed to break your lure free from almost any snag. Fishers of Hope, benefit fishing tournaments to help people in need. Serve IT, industry-leading IT services for your business. Change the way you manage IT. Turner Tire, Jasper, Georgia's most trusted family-owned tire center. Atlanta Safe House, the trusted source for safes and gun safes in Tennessee, Georgia, Kentucky, and Alabama. And of course, Digital Sportsman, a new way to discover and book unforgettable outdoor experiences with local trusted guides. Go to fngo.com to get direct links to all our fine partners. Get ready and let's talk fishing.
Move it.
Well, that ended quick. Quick. I thought we had a little more time right there.
Well,
guys.
we don't. Here
we
are.
don't. Welcome to the Live Well here this Tuesday night. You can see we kind of got a crowd going around us a little bit. Going to be a good night for fishing talk because it's raining like crazy outside, and we got nothing better to do. So got a couple of absolute hammers for you guys to meet tonight. Everything's going to be good. Say it loud. Say it loud, Ryan. Hammers right there. So anyway, I hope you guys have had a good day, and let's just get ready to talk fishing. I got a couple of announcements before we bring in Dalton and Brody, and we'll introduce them here in a second. But all you guys already in the comments section, hey, appreciate you joining us. And on TikTok, I'll go ahead and tell you this. You'll get a better experience if you go to FNGO on YouTube, where you can get all the camera angles. Because we're just cheap here at Fish North Georgia, and we ain't figured out a way to put everything in the camera on TikTok yet. So we'll figure it out. But you guys, hey, we do what we can do. Anyway, guys, listen, couple things. First of all, I want to go ahead and start putting it in everybody's mind right now. December 6th, Lake Lanier. We're coming back again for the Toys for Tots tournament. All right, I talked to the guys at Big Shanty Bassmasters again today. Same as last year, $5,000 first place prize is guaranteed through sponsors. Last year, we had 96 boats, okay, 96. This year, I won 100. Let's bring it in. If you remember, I forget what the entry fee was. We'll determine that, but it was the entry fee plus 2 toys per boat. Last year, we raised, I think it was like 11 boxes of toys, and had one of the best tournaments that I've seen as far as weights. I mean, it was close all the way down. Like, we went down 30 spots, and you were still within like 2 pounds, 3 pounds, something like that.
It was good fishing, too.
It was good. Fun. Steve Billington, real quick about kayaks. I did talk to them today about figuring out a kayak division. So Danny let us know how to donate for out-of-town folks. I'm going to let you guys know all that, but I want to go ahead and put it in your minds right now. If you got a company that wants to sponsor, hey, we're still taking sponsors. If you want to fish, go ahead, mark it down, and I think we'll probably start taking making the list of how to sign up here shortly. But again, I just had my initial meeting with them. Be ready for it, okay? December 6th. It's going to be the event on Lake Lanier. So go ahead and mark that down. And also, too, if you are a fly guy, and we know there's a few of you out there, I want you to check out Wicked Fly Rods. We got them in the shop now. Met these guys down at ICAST. They're out of Arizona. And you're talking about an awesome fly rod. If you're into that thing, you can come by the shop and check them out. But if you want, you can go to WKD, short for wicked.fly.com. So WKD.fly.com. Use code FNGO, and you get $120 off the Origin Series rods.
Dang,
$120 off the Origin
right
Series
there,
rods.
dude.
So go check them out. And listen, like, dude, they're badass. That's just about the only way to say it. And I like to fly fish every once in a while, but these things are legit. So check them out. Go to Wicked Flies. Just type that in your browser and all that. But FNGO gets you $120 off the Origin Series rods. And you know what? We might even let you get $120 off if you come in the shop. We can do that too. Yo, Danny and Ryan, Eric, man, I always mess up your name. But Eric, appreciate you joining us tonight here on TikTok. So, Danny, check out Rivers and Glenn for fly rods. Listen, I fly fish when they make me do it for the TV show. Other than that, that ain't my style, baby. I'm not that guy.
You can't throw a wacky rig on a fly rod.
You can't throw a wacky rig on a fly rod. So anyway, I got Clint in the house. I got Dave Aldridge finally back up here. Got Alex. And then somebody drug this ugly mug right here beside me. Ryan Hanks of Cast is here. Yeah, with his 80 porn stash. He's got it.
Oh, there you go. You're getting banned.
I went there. But anyway, he's up here. And but we got two, listen, guys, seriously, outstanding anglers. University of Montevallo. Did I say that right? Is it Montevallo? Bella? How you say it? Montevallo. Pull them, pull them guys in. Pull them in.
They go there. We don't.
They go there. We don't go. All right. So, guys, listen. We got Brody Robison, no N, Robison, Dalton Head as well. Now, I put it down. I told Brody, I said, send me a little bit about you guys real quick for the social post. And he sent this, and I was like, well, crap. These guys are better than I thought. I didn't know.
Danny, damn.
I mean, I was like,
what do you think this is?
I was like, okay, I didn't realize the caliber of guests we were getting for tonight. All right, so Brody Robison is currently, and correct me if I'm wrong, the 2025 MLF College National Champion.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I like the way he said that. Dalton is the 2023. I'm excited. MLF College National Champion, the 2025 ACA National Champion, and a two-time Bassmaster College Champion. Did I get that right?
You did.
So needless to say, you two know how to fish. A little bit?
A few times.
Just a little bit.
1 or 2? Okay. All right. So it's pretty cool. And I got to meet Dalton. It was Dalton, right? Down at ICAST.
Yeah.
And we had some good conversation. We'll leave what happens at ICAST stays at ICAST. But got to meet you down there through Ryan and everything. And Ryan told me, he goes, listen, I got two guys that you – what's up, Aquaholic? And on TikTok, I like the Aquaholic. He goes, I got two guys that need to be on your podcast. These guys are up and coming, just absolute studs in the fishing world. And so now we have them here for you guys to talk to tonight. You guys can bring in the questions or comments, however you want for them. We're going to talk about their tournament, aspirations and kind of what it's like on the college trail. We probably need to talk some Guntersville a little bit because that's what gets Dave excited because he's got his house over in Guntersville. Montevallo is the top. How do you say it?
Montevallo.
Montevallo. All right, I can do that. Montevallo is the top college in the nation when it comes to college fishing. Fair to say? Fair to say? I think that's about right.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Pretty cool dudes come through there, and you got a couple more over here. So
Ain't that where Easton went?
Yep.
Oh, Father Gill or how you say
Gillis.
Father Gillis. We're going to talk about their college thing up, but we won't talk about their aspirations. But listen, guys, I'm not going to lie. You come on our show. The whole purpose of our show is to try to squeeze some juice out of you guys to help other guys catch more fish. That's what we're all about. So when the time comes, ask a question, you got to answer it. All right, fair enough?
Fair enough.
They're both tight-lipped. There's like, I don't know what to think. So
bubblegum trickworm, every answer.
Bubblegum trickworm. So you guys are roommates now, right? So how does that work when you got two quality anglers such as yourself in the same room? How much information do you share? How much is the competition between you guys? What is it like? Because a lot of guys don't really understand that scene. And I don't care which one of you go first, just take off.
Yeah, we travel around and go to all these tournaments together, and we always work together on things and bounce ideas back and forth. But I mean, when we take off in the morning at a tournament, my one goal in mind is to beat Dalton, his partner, because if I do that, I'm probably going to top 5 the tournament, and that's always a fun competition to have. But we fish a lot of team tournaments together around the house and stuff, and we kind of sharpen each other's skills and learn as we go together. And I think it's helped us both a lot, bouncing ideas back and forth with each other over the last 4 years.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good answer. What about you, Dalton?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, me and Brody have learned so much together. I mean, I think the first time we ever touched Livescope was when we were together and we learned it together. And I mean, he's taught me so much about Guntersville, stuff like that. And I feel like I've taught him a decent amount down here on the Coosa River. So I mean, it's been really good just teaching each other like different techniques and way to break down water.
Okay, that makes sense. What is it like fishing for basically what is known as the top college for bass fishing in the nation?
It's crazy. It's unbelievable. That the competition is just it's outrageous. I mean, we're competing against these guys every single day. I mean, we compete against Easton every single day when it comes to some of these tournaments around the house. I mean, he fishes them and we got to compete against him. So, I mean, it just makes us better. I mean, it's just we fish against so many good guys from around the country, and some of them are some of my best friends, and they've taught me so much in the 5 years I've been here.
All right, so let me ask you this. Tell me, Dalton, I want you to answer me this. What is Brody's strength? What are his strengths? What's his strengths fishing?
A ledge. Put him on a lake where he can graph all day, and that's his strength.
That's his strength. All right, and same goes to you. What's Dalton's strength?
Ooh, moving fast. Not necessarily power fishing, but a patternable fishery, somewhere you can fish on the fly and kind of learn as you go. It seems like anytime we're hit with that scenario, especially something like a herring lake or something, that's definitely going to fall to his strong suit.
Okay. I pull up that from Andy Anderson. This is Brooks Anderson's father right here. Dalton or Brody, how many School of the Year rings did y'all get or have gotten so far at Montevallo?
4 for ACA School of the Year, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it 3 for
I think it's 3
MLF? It's 2 or 3 for MLF and 4 for ACA School of the Year.
So y'all are just stacked.
We've had a solid last 4 years. We've had some phenomenal anglers come through.
Look, he's trying to be humble. We've been solid. We've been solid. It's been okay and all that. What would you, both of you, consider your home lake?
Mine's Lay or Logan. That's
Lay or Logan?
The most time on.
All right. What about you?
Guntersville's my home lake. I grew up on Weiss Lake. Y'all are probably more familiar with that than most people around here. That kind of borders up to Georgia, but grew up there and moved to Guntersville later in high school. And then, we spent so much time on Lay, you could about consider that a home lake.
All right, so you start thinking of a Guntersville question, Dave. I'm going to tell you right now, my thoughts on Weiss is it's a mud hole.
Yeah, it is.
Look, if I'm going to be honest with you, because we got pretty lakes like Lake Lanier up here, all these North Georgia lakes that are clear and all that. And when I was driving out to Dave's house over in Guntersville, because he lives in Guntersville, we had to pass Weiss Lake, and I'm like, my gosh, that's a disappointment. But I know it's a great lake, but it's not
a cool
beautiful.
fishery.
Yeah, but it's ugly.
Yeah, it ain't
That's like an ugly girl that can kiss good. She's still ugly. So, I mean, if we're being honest, huh? It's not wrong. Ugly's ugly. Let's see. What's up, Traveling Fisherman on TikTok? He is in Alaska right now. You want to start the questions off for these young men on Guntersville? You got something?
Sure.
Go ahead.
How do y'all, when the fall bite gets there, what is y'all's primary pattern? Do y'all stay out deep from being there for the summertime, or y'all start moving shallow, or is it grass? Is it ledges? Kind of how do you approach that?
Everybody, the cool thing about Guntersville is everybody assesses the lake differently, and there's so many different strands of bass, along with there's so many bass in the lake. Everybody has a different approach to it. Me personally, I don't ever like to leave the main river. That's just my style. Guntersville has a lot of creeks and places you can dive off into, and I don't like to spend the time to run into places. I like to be able to move super fast, but everything's seemingly shad, shell, and grass oriented, and that's kind of a year-round thing other than spawn, but mostly patterning, deciphering between the threadfin pattern and the gizzard pattern, but all shad oriented for the fall, moving into the fall.
Okay. That's good. Aquaholic says he caught Aquaholic. Somebody asked on our YouTube comments, where are you from? But he caught over 20 this past weekend, all 6 feet or less. This is a question for both of you guys, because this is something we've noticed over here on Lake Lanier. Are y'all noticing a different pattern this year, the way the fish are acting? Just out of curiosity, because Lake Lanier has been a little bit different from the norm. Like the top water bite is not as strong as it normally has. The fish in the brush are not coming up. Just certain things like that on the lakes that you fish. Anything kind of off this year, just out of curiosity?
I think so.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
on
You
the
do?
coast right now that things are further ahead towards like a turnover. I feel like they're starting to act like they're getting real finicky right now for some reason.
Yeah,
It's interesting he said that, because the guy I fished with Sunday over here on Lanier, Kevin Underwood with Lip Sticker Fishing, he said this lake is acting like it's going to turn over early. And you guys are seeing that over there.
Guntersville's already starting to turn over as well. I finally got to get out there for the first time in the last month or so, and it's definitely seeing some turnover. I think looking back all the way to this time last year, we had that abnormally warm fall, and I think it set all the fish into a different cycle, and that's why you've seen something different throughout the year. And then now we've had this little bit of early cold front, and it's going to start an earlier turnover, and it's just changing things up, along with pressure, of course, and just pressure over the last couple of years. It's making fish adapt to it. But definitely, I think with the extra long warm fall, and then along with this colder front we've had, it's changing things up not tremendously, but a lot.
Mm-hmm. It's very interesting when you get guys that fish different areas of the country kind of saying the same or seeing the same things we're seeing here. Chris Garrison said, "Yes, sir, the bite is weird this year. I thought I was the only one that noticed it." No, you're not. And then Stillwater Films on YouTube says they're definitely acting fallish here on the Southern Coosa. So, I mean, it was really interesting. So I know 2 weeks ago on Lake Lanier, don't count yesterday, but 2 weeks ago on a Monday afternoon, we got on Lanier and the water temp was 89.9. And now it's 78, 79. Are you guys seeing that kind of a drop where you guys have been fishing?
So I think holding a consistent 82 to 84, really.
Yeah.
It didn't drop the drop wasn't as big on Guntersville as it was on Lanier. It dropped 4 or 5 degrees because they've been schooling like crazy over there, and they're eating shad. They were spitting them up. They're about an inch long.
Tiny
little.
shad.
I mean, they're almost the size of your fingernail across. Yeah, I had hundreds of them in the boat from the last 2 weeks.
Really? Where was the last place you two fished?
Lay.
Yeah, I went to Lay with this past week. Yeah.
Okay, Chris Garrison said it's global warming, and it could be, dude. I don't know. Ask Randy Blockett; he'll tell you. Steve Billington Fishing said 78 to 80 here in Missouri at a few spots, but it is different. And he had an underwater camera, and he was going around showing two things. First of all, spotted bass here on Lake Lanier that were, I don't know, 2.5, 3 pounds, had gizzard shad, basically almost the same size, schooling with them. Did you see that? It was the biggest gizzard shad. Spotted bass and gizzard shad schooling together. And then also there were certain places where it looked like with that camera, and it was an aqua view or whatever, that it looked like it was a hard, the bottom, and it was the thermocline. He could dip it in there and go underneath it. But that's how much muck was kicked up on Lake Lanier right at the thermocline and all that. Have you guys got a
were the spots traveling with like the gizzard shad on that thermocline?
Yeah, they were together, which could make sense since it's right on the thermocline.
Seems like more of a survival thing rather than I'd say they're probably swimming it to stay alive, and like they're all kind of traveling together. They may have had a point A that the thermocline covered up. Now they were in transition mode.
Yeah, that's as good a reason as any.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cooper McDonald wants to know, and Cooper, congratulations on taking my money Sunday.
I told you that was going to happen.
Dude, 3 fish. They had 3 fish for like right at 16, just tad under 16. Impressive as always. Brody, does current matter on the TVA?
Absolutely, yeah. I think current's one of the biggest factors, if not the biggest factor, on any river system you fish, but especially the TVA with the amount of shell you're dealing with and stuff. The current's everything for sure. And knowing how to adapt to what amount of current and things like that.
Okay. JSAT Fishing on TikTok. Clark Hill was 91, dropped to 82. So it seems like everybody's getting a 6 to 10 degree drop over the last couple of weeks. And again, you guys on TikTok, if you want the full experience and you want to see our guest on camera, go to FNGO on YouTube and you'll get the full experience. All right. So Dalton, this question is for you. What would be your pattern for Chickamauga in mid-October? we're jumping the gun a little bit. So in mid-October, what would you do? Not now, mid-October. Brian Davidson wants to know.
I'm not like 100% sure. I don't have like a ton of experience on chick, but I know I've been out there in October, and I mean, there's fish obviously gonna be pushing around some bait, but I mean, I got on a good frog bite one time in October out there, so I'd definitely go try that.
Back to the frogs and all that. Everybody's talking about frogs right now. All right. So we'll stay with you, Dalton. What's your favorite way to fish? Do you consider yourself a power fisherman or a finesse guy?
Gosh, dude. My favorite way. I'd say, I don't know, herring fishing in some shape or form. I mean, just that in general. Just running all day, just on 10, just herring fishing. That's what I'd say. I mean, it's hard to be, I guess, a power fisherman. I guess in terms of that, just going fast and moving water, I'd probably say.
Okay. Fair enough. What about you, Brody?
I mean, if I had to choose any way to catch a bass, it's going to be power fishing in the sense of, like Dalton said, ledge fishing. Your big plugs, big jigs, big swim baits, big line or big rod. That's my ultimate favorite. But what I do the most, probably like a power finesse, like moving fast with finesse tactics. I guess that's probably what I'm most comfortable with.
Okay. That's fair enough. Phil Hutchinson says Danny Lanier still has 2 to 4 weeks to go before the turnover starts. When we have low water, hot summers, it happens later. First place it shows up is in the river. I would expect it to start showing soon, though. Makes perfect sense. And Dalton Cooper wants to know, do you have any tips for Livescope? And I'm going to ask you both this question, too. I know. Listen, I'll tell you this. Ryan told me before the show that you two were probably the most phenomenal people. I mean, I'm okay to say that, right?
Yeah.
2 of the most phenomenal anglers, if not the best he has ever seen with Livescope. And he was talking real highly about you guys. So Dalton, Cooper is really good on the scope here on Lake Lanier. He is a very good fisherman. Any tips that you might have to make him even better so he can take more of my money? Because that's all he does.
Just practice on being faster. I mean, you can always be faster and more efficient. That's the biggest thing I can say, and that's the biggest thing I've learned is just being how to be faster and more efficient at the same time.
Okay, fair enough. It is good. What about you, Brody?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the kind of along the same lines as people seem to worry about trying to find what fish will bite that they're looking at and stuff like that. I think one of the strongest tools you have is being able to look at a fish and saying that fish is not going to bite, and having the willpower to move on and keep going just off of reading their personalities and how they're set up and things like that. I think that's way more important than knowing or trying to cycle through baits and trying to force a fish to bite rather than just hunting for active fish.
Okay, fair enough. Let's see. Jeff Queen, Dalton, talk about the jig heads that has your name on it. Now, I knew this was going to come up at some point. So go ahead and talk about the jig head that we all need to know about.
Yeah, dude. I've been playing with a jig head.
Dude.
It's sweet, dude. I'm excited about it. It feels nice to make something and Jeff kind of run with it. It was really cool that he worked with me like that. But it's an oxidized head and it's got a new hook in it. I know that a lot of people have said things about hooks, and we put probably one of the best hooks I've ever felt in a jig head in it, and we put a new keeper on it. It's a double keeper, but they're offset a little bit, and I really believe in the head, and I feel like I wouldn't ever put anything out there I wouldn't believe in. So I definitely recommend trying it.
Okay, so we're going to do this because you got to get used to this. Because do both of you have pro aspirations?
Yeah.
Fair enough to say? Okay, so at some point you're going to become a salesman for a company, even though you're a professional angler. Sell me on your jig head right now. You got 30 seconds to tell me why. You got 30 seconds to tell me why I need to buy that Queen jig head. You got to get at this. What's up, Haley and Tanner on TikTok? Sell it to me.
If you want to quit losing them on a jig head, buy this one.
That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. You can chime in, get up close to that mic.
I actually, let me get over here. I talked with Jeff at ICAST, and he was super excited about this and why. Maybe you could talk a little bit about why you're calling it the ghost head and the oxidized head. Really, go into that more because that's super unique, man. And everything I see Jeff do is very well thought out. He's an awesome engineer, and I think what you guys came up with is something that's very different than almost every jig head out there. So he put, you guys put a lot of time into this, and I think letting the people who are watching the show understand that's a very, like, the hook is awesome. I felt it myself, but I think that's a really important aspect that had a lot of R&D and time put into that,
Oh yeah. Jeff went really in depth with the head. He, with the oxidized head and that flat finish on the hook, it has no shine. Like that's why he's calling it the invisible head, is because when you look at it in the water and you compare it to, like I'd say the tungsten jig head with no paint on it or oxidized and the flat finish hook, it's got a real keen shine to it. And it's just, in some instances, that's unnatural when you're trying to match it to kind of a darker style bait. It's just unnatural. So, I mean, with the flat finish hook and the oxidized head, it just has no flash to it. And that's why we call it the ghost head.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That makes sense. All right, first of all, Haley and Tanner are new here. Where are you guys out of? North Georgia, but we're worldwide. Let's just go ahead and say it that way. And I think I got Cooper McDonald. Do I got him mixed up? Is that the Cooper that was on the show?
No.
So Cooper McDonald is the one I fished against. What was the other Cooper who's going to Montevallo? Moon. That's right. Okay, I want to make sure I didn't screw that up. That's pretty good. You sold it. You sold me on it. Good job. Just if you don't want to lose fish, buy it. I mean, that's all you need right there. All right, Georgia Country Boy TV wants to know, are the fish that are closer to the surface more likely to bite? Brody, you get that one first.
I mean, it depends on the fishery you're on and the forage base that you're around. I'd say they're definitely more active, and that's that's why they've left their structure. But that could be a barometric pressure relation or something like that. I'd say if the fish are actively feeding, yes, the one that's up higher is probably more likely to bite. But it's also, how did you approach it? Did you land your bait too close to it? Things like that come into consideration when you're talking about is it more willing to bite? Well, is your presentation good enough for it to be willing to bite?
Okay, good answer. Now I'm going to ask Dalton this question. So Saturday on Lake Lanier, we're fishing a tournament. The fish on Livescope were sitting up, when they're up off the brush, kind of mid-water column. A lot of times over here, you can get those fish to come to the top. And so they weren't hitting top water. We started throwing a fluke. We were getting a little bit of activity with the fluke. But I don't know how many times I had fish coming up at 150 miles an hour, like they were getting ready to just absolute freaking crush it like a big girl at a buffet. And then all of a sudden, last second, right back down. What was I doing wrong?
I feel like when that starts happening, definitely on a herring fishery, I start changing. Like, I start with cadence first. Like, I start rotating through multiple different cadences and maybe something crazy, like, because they're obviously, like, they're wanting to go up to it, but they're not committing to it for some just small, meticulous reason. And all it takes is one small thing. It could be your line size. It could come down to the gear ratio of your reel. I mean, it can come down to that. But I'd definitely start with cadence first, different types of cadences.
That's a good answer, because I will tell you what we were doing, and you guys both can talk on the fluke, how you work your flukes. But what we were doing was we were more reeling it and giving it, the kind of like the old Alabama shake while we were doing that. So we were moving it a little bit faster because it is a herring lake, and herring are pretty fast. So how would you have adjusted to that if, say, you were working it the way I was?
Yeah,
if I was working
it the way you were, kind of fast, and they're still kind of hesitant on it, I'd still, like, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of, how far were they turning around on it? Like, if they were turning around 10 feet, if they're turning around 5 feet on it?
Less than 3 feet. I mean, they were right there to where I was expecting to bite.
Sometimes you can kill it in their face. Sometimes whenever they're just hauling at it like that, you can just kill it right there, and they'll just come up and just eat it right there. I mean, that's one of the best ones for me. But I know just keeping it, reeling it fast, like just not even stopping it, not even shaking it. I mean, just
Right.
reeling it as fast as you can. Sometimes that'll trigger them too.
Okay, that makes sense. That's a good one. Yeah, cranking and yanking. What's up, scopers? Cranking and yanking. You ain't gonna like this episode today. I love my listen. I love my Louisiana boy, but this probably won't be the episode for you, dog. Peyton Sorrow says rattle, cranking and yanking. Listen, he's an old grumpy fella from down in Louisiana that fishes like 5 foot deep for him. All right, but we love him. I like them all. I know cranking, and I love it when you come. You keep us on our toes. Peyton Sorrow says rattle trap Robison and Durag Dan. What the heck does that mean?
Peyton's my fishing partner, and
Okay.
that's good stuff.
So you like the rattle trap, huh?
I'm a big fan of a trap. We had a tear of Peyton and I had a tear of probably, it was 4 or 5 tournaments where it wouldn't be a trap fishery at all sometimes, and we somehow found a pattern throwing a trap, and we just kind of ran with it through every event we went to. We'd still have it tied on and find fish that would eat it, and it was just kind of a running deal. Durag Dan, I'm not sure where that comes from, though. We just started saying it one day, and it worked out.
All right, Stephanie on TikTok. This place is awesome. I stopped by the other day. Really cool interaction and friendly folks. That's what we're all about. Again, if you want to go over to YouTube, FNGL on YouTube, you can actually see the good-looking guys we're talking to tonight right there. This question is for you, Dave, and then you guys can chime up. Pull that one up. What's up, Cam? Question for Dave. I'll be on Guntersville this weekend with my boys. I love throwing a chatterbait. Please share a few areas to put fish in the boat with a chatterbait, which we definitely need to do because he's got his boys. We want him to have a great experience. And then after Dave answers this, either one of you two guys, if you got any good holes on Guntersville you could share, we'd love for you to do that. And you better talk for a while because I got to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I was out there the last couple of weekends. I actually caught some more chatterbait. So, as far as areas to go, Seabold's got a bunch in there. I would say look for the high spots that are offshore. A lot of them have brim beds on them. I've been catching fish off them since May or June, and they'll bite a chatterbait up there. Back of Browns. And even if it's not a high spot, even if it's a ditch, a little low spot in between 2 humps, that's 5 or 6 foot. Let that chatterbait get down there. A lot of shad. I don't know what y'all have been seeing, but it's a ton of bait in around that Seabold in those little depressions. Pretty much every one of them's full of bait when I was out there the other day. So that's where I would start is high spots with brim beds.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with the Seabold comment. I'd say high places near the river or high spots, like humps, things like that come up shallow, but not so shallow they're starting to mat out. And just finding those thread fin pushed up on them. I like to fish places where maybe the current's blowing into it. So if it's just sticks out into the river or something like that, and it's a high place, that 3 to 5 foot range, you're going to start seeing a lot of schooling fish there over the next couple of weeks. And I like that Seabold section. Just that mid-river section should be getting really good with this as the fish start to school on the thread fin.
Okay, that's good. Now, Clint, tell them how bad Carter sucks right now. That's Brad Silvers. Brad Silvers fishes Carter's, and apparently it sucks every week for him.
Dude, we went out, I guess that was 2 weekends ago, or not this past weekend, but the weekend before, and it was like desolate. I was not seeing fish. I was like, okay, maybe they're shallow, went to the backs of creeks. I was like, okay, this is a deep-ass lake. Let's go deep. And we went as deep as you can go and looking in the timber. I mean, casting at catfish. It was brutal. I mean, we caught – only way we could catch them was on a drop shot and 6 pound. Like, it was tough. I did make one eat a flutter spoon out of a brush pile, and but everything was real tough on Carter's right now. So I ain't really got much advice for you other than throw a drop shot and hope for the best.
Well, maybe you just suck.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
I'm just kidding.
I did.
I'm just kidding. All right. So anyway, Cranking and Yanking says rattle trap made in Alexandria, Louisiana. One of the best lures out there.
Yes, it is.
100%. Listen, you guys, there's one of your buddies that I think's on here tonight. An Eastern Fothergill. is actually in the comment section, and he wants to know. First of all, hey, you got to come on our show, dude. Before I ask your question, I need you to commit to being a guest on the show here.
We'll get him on.
We'll get you on. I promise you, you'll have a good time. This ain't no Mercer or none of that stuff. What's your most memorable fishing moment? Either one of you. Dalton, start off with that.
You want me to start off?
Start off.
Oh, man, it's so hard to pick one, but I'd say
That's what happens when you're good.
No, it's probably the MLF National Championship on the last day. It was one of the most insane things I've ever seen in my life. It was I'll just fast forward through the tournament, or through that day until the last hour. In the last hour, we pulled up into our best stretch, and it was just a pad line mixed with Kissimmee grass, and we were going down it. We didn't get bit in our last hour, and it was about 45 minutes into that hour. And we're like, dude, we have no clue what's going on. And we knew we needed one more bite. And we pull up, and just something told me just go in 50 yards. Because, we were catching post-spawn fish and, some spawning fish, pre-spawn. So I wonder if I was wondering if they just pulled up and just started spawning hard. And we pull up, and my first flip, while the boat was moving, I caught a 9-pounder. Oh. And that was the fish that won the tournament.
My first flip, my first flip caught a 9-pounder. That's awesome.
Unreal.
Yeah, it sounds like it. What about you, Brody?
Like he said, we have so much fun traveling around and stuff. It's hard to pick, but I definitely had to go with MLF Natty at Wheeler. Probably my favorite moment from the whole tournament. So you get a day and a half practice and that's what makes them really cool. Natty is, everybody's unprepared for it. Nobody got 5 days of practice and has them so dialed, they know them by name, stuff like that. So we practiced for our day and a half and had one bite, and I think we snagged one in the back with a trap. And that was our 2 bites. Didn't really have a clue what we were going to do. And we had a place that we marked, and we thought they kind of looked like bass on side scan. Peyton made 2 casts at them, said, I might have had a bite, but I ain't sure. We were so spun out and everything. Roll up there and caught 20 pounds in the first 5 casts. And we sat down and we're like, well, now we got to hunt for more. And I looked at Peyton and I said, dude, if we can find a couple more places like this, we're going to win this tournament. This is my favorite way of fishing. It doesn't seem like many people have found it. And just as the tournament progressed, we were so comfortable in what we were doing. Just the whole 3 days it was awesome. And then we moved with the fish and everything. And the last, hour, we didn't feel like we had enough to win. We didn't realize how tough it was on everyone with the conditions and everything. And I caught a 5-pounder as they're closing out the MLF Live. And it was just it was just a weird feeling, just that comfort of all right, it's over now. That was just the whole 3 days in general was so awesome.
That's absolutely freaking awesome. It is. I wish I had that feeling in my fishing life, but I ain't got that. So C-Mix, glad you're joining us over there on TikTok and Tactical. Yeah, we're on TikTok, but if you want to see these beautiful guys right here, come over here to FNGO on YouTube.
Don't lie to him, Danny.
Well, I've been known to lie once or twice. Okay, listen, I was trying to give you some credit, man. So but I have been known to stretch the truth. Kyle Brown wants to know, and either one of you guys can go first. What's the best pattern on the lower Coosa, laying down, lay lake and down in October? Where should I focus? He's new to the scope game.
Talking about the best pattern.
Yeah.
Dude.
In the water. Probably on the edge. That's right.
Tail race?
One time last year at Logan, I was taking these high school kids out, and we got on an awesome glide bite on the bank. That was pretty cool. If you're wanting to try something new like that, but the dam
at Logan too.
Yeah, the dam at Mitchell, dude. That That's
Stupid.
fun. If you want to scope, you
Yeah.
can scope stripe. I mean, you can scope a ton of spots. I mean, you might hook into a 15-pound stripe and take you all the way down the lake. But I mean,
Okay.
it's fun, dude, up there.
It's fun. Reach Night too. What's up with you, buddy? Cameron Bennett, Dave, I appreciate the chicken rig post on YouTube this week, which is actually my favorite way to throw a worm now. However, he did record one for me, and due to our laziness and being busy, I never got it out. So I do appreciate you putting that out there.
No problem.
You know, it's because we suck here, but you know, it is. Pontoon Jody, big hello to all the beautiful people and the ugly ones too. So I guess she's talking about me there. Cranking and yanking. My most memorable fishing moment involves Hannah Barron. I wasn't there, but mercy. I understand, dude. Listen, I can't say too much on that, or I'm gonna be the old perverted man. We don't need to be doing that here. Dalton, you might want to cut your interior light on a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you wanted me to, or I can turn up my brightness.
Yeah, either way, you're getting a little dark up there.
Yeah.
Let's see. All fishermen lie. Jeff Queen wants to know, share your line setup for scoping, from line knot on a spool to not used on the hook. So what you guys got? Either one of you can go with that.
You can go ahead, Brody.
Full setup, like rod and everything, or just line to bait?
Let's just go the whole setup. Let everybody know what you're throwing.
So I use my all-around rod is a 7-foot medium hammer from Hammer Rods, the Elite Series rod. I love that rod. It's good for anything from a 3-inch bait to as big as you want to go with it. I keep it pretty simple. I always use the Cast X12 12-pound. That's just phenomenal braid. It lasts so long. You get such great castability out of it, and it's really good stuff. It's stout. It's really stout for a 12-pound, and but going from there, I use FG knot all the time. It's hard to beat it. It's just a stout knot, and the castability was great. I go to a 12-pound. I use 12-pound P-Line Tactical. That's about the only leader I ever use, no matter the scenario.
Okay.
I'm not big on line size matters. I mean, maybe if I were to go up Great Lakes, I might go down to a 10 or an 8, but we're super clear, maybe Lanier, a place like that. But I like to keep it at 12. And yeah, like he said, the Ghost Head, we've been playing with that thing for a while, and it's legit. I like to use that or the Omega hookup head. That's a good one to use on our spotted bass lakes. They like to nip a lot. And that and the Ghost Head they're hard to beat. Use them with a loop knot. That's something. It's kind of a controversial topic. Some guys say they hate it, some they love it. I love the loop knot, and yeah.
Okay. All right, Dalton, what about you? And before you do that, Gavin Miller says you look like you're fixing to go on a date after this.
No.
So do you have something set up for after this?
No.
Okay. All right. We're just making sure. What's your setup when you're scoping?
I use the X12 12-pound, and I've been using more of the 20-pound here recently, which has been pretty sweet because I like using bigger line. And so with my knot, I don't tie an FG. So with my knot, I go to, like, when I'm using 15-pound or 14-pound as a leader, I'll go up to the 20-pound braid. If I'm using 12-pound or 10 or 8, I'll use the 12-pound leader. And then I'd say the 7.2 Chaotic is probably one of my favorite scoping rods for sure, without a doubt. So
Okay. All right, both good choices. Now listen, I'm not sponsored by Ryan and Cass and all that. But be honest, is that braid not the most smoothest casting braid you've ever thrown? Like, I can't get him to write me a check for nothing. I've been trying for years, and I've probably sold more daggum braid of his on this show than anybody. He still won't write me a check. He's in the bathroom. That's why I'm saying that right now. But in all honesty, is that not some of the smoothest stuff you've ever thrown?
Dude, it's
it
insane.
really is. The durability is more impressive than how smooth it is, in my opinion. I feel like the durability is just unreal.
Okay, so now you're back, so we'll quit talking good about your crap.
Yeah.
So, all right, can I say something? Go ahead, pull the mic up.
No, just you guys are talking about using that 12-pound leader, and that was the first time really I'd seen that be used with the lighter size X12. when we went over there and filmed on Guntersville, because like the majority of the fishing I'm around is a lot of highland reservoirs, and we're usually using like somewhere between, like I'd say 6 to possibly the biggest 10. So it was cool to see you guys using the bigger leader size for what you were doing that day. That was the first time I saw that. And I want both of y'all's opinions. When you're using that bigger leader size, do you feel like that mutes the action on the bait, or does it change the action maybe that you want? I know, the first thing I noticed about both of you guys that day was how quick you were making adjustments. And I've never seen that before. That was really impressive to me. But do you feel like maybe if it's in colder water, that thicker leader may have muted the action and that's something you wanted more of? Or do you think that, you're fishing Guntersville, this is not Lake Lanier, so that stained water, it really doesn't matter for what you're doing?
What are you doing asking a serious question on this show?
Because I think it's a good question.
It's an excellent question.
When I first saw that, I mean, I've been so used to just putting 7-pound sunline on that next one forever. And then I showed up and both those guys had 12-pound on, and I was like, well.
When he said P-line,
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I sat here and went, okay, that's a first.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to see what their opinion was on that, and it's just something it was something cool to me. It is different I hadn't seen. So
no, absolutely, absolutely.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to play host and ask.
No, you know how this works. I don't care, but that is a good question. So you guys answer that question if you even remember it now.
I feel like the bigger line sometimes can give it a different action. That's why. And if I'm fishing around like some stout structure, like some docks or something like that, then I'll definitely just up my line size, because I'm just trying to get my bait to the fish and get him out. But I feel like definitely on 15 and 14 and stuff like that, you can float things a little better because it's bigger diameter line. So, I mean, it really doesn't take away the action of the bait. It really just kind of takes away the fall, like how fast you want it to fall, how slow you want it to fall, just stuff like that. So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say is, we're talking about minnowing or pinging you minnow, that stuff. I don't feel like it definitely can change the action not in a bad way, but it could for the way the head swings and stuff like that. But other baits, let's say like a Nico or something, line size could definitely change your rate of fall and stuff like that. And I feel like it matters more for that sort of manipulation rather than the action of how your minnow rolls.
I will say this, but before the show, he did say that. He goes, as far as the adjustments, watching you two guys make adjustments on the fly was one of the most impressive things you've ever seen.
Yeah,
you said that.
Yeah, it was cool. They both talked about they like to fish fast, right? Or the fast deal. And we were when did we film together, guys? Was that March? So the water's still cold. But just the way that they were thinking about it, like, oh, this needs to be adjusted. Oh, this is this. They could look at something and tell the situation and then be like, oh, this is what I need to adjust right now. This isn't going to work. Like they change it until it was pretty insane. Like I don't know if we'll ever film another cast video after this, because they had 34 pounds in like 2 hours.
Yeah, I know.
Brody broke his PB, so I was like, all right, they got it dialed in really quick.
Yeah,
it was cool to see that.
Nothing pisses me off more than when they just we're going to out film something at 34 pounds.
Yeah.
Yes, what the hell?
I just thought it'd be cool to get a 4-pounder on camera.
Yeah, we'll just drop 34 right here like it ain't nothing.
I told him I felt like when we were filming that, I felt like Bobby Cox, and that was Ronald Acuna Jr. and Chipper Jones over there.
Oh yeah,
like that. I was like, all right, I hear you.
That works. Yeah. All right. Now let me ask you guys this: do you guys have serious girlfriends? I'm just going to ask Brass this next question.
Yeah.
You both do? Okay, so we're going to skip Steve Billington's question because he said, what technique worked best on college girls? Now, how about this, though? Today on our lunch break podcast, we were talking about MLF versus Bassmaster, Red Crest versus Classic, and I personally thought that the better pickup line would be, I'm Danny Pruitt, 2025 Bassmaster Classic winner. What do you guys think? Seriously, or AOY, I'm Danny Pruitt, 2025, Angler of the Year. Which would pick up girls better? Because we actually had a female chime in and give her answer. So I'm curious as to what you think. He's thinking, look at him.
How did you get me on this?
Yeah, listen.
Well, the Classic's the most notable thing where like they might not realize the significance of an Angler of the Year title.
Okay, good answer. Good answer. What about you, Dalton? Same thing?
Same thing.
I'm going to tell you, this girl said, I'll take a classic man any day of the week. That's exactly what she said on TikTok. And I was like, hey, okay. What's the best tip you can give me on how to know that you're hitting the fish in the head using forward-facing sonar? It looks like I'm bringing it right over them, but I feel like I'm off. What's the best tip you can give?
Go ahead, Brody.
Ooh, yeah, you won't throw that one at me, Dalton.
Yeah.
I like all the harder questions.
Dalton throws it to Brody.
Dalton's ready for his day.
He's ready for his day.
He's like, go ahead, Brody.
Well, I guess when you take it into consideration of the degree of the way your transducer looks out, practice on pitching at fish. It definitely helps to practice in dirtier water. You can get a little bit closer to the fish without spooking them, as opposed to your linears or your Hartwells, where if you get it within 100 foot, it seems like they know you're there. But let's say we're talking about a Garmin, for instance, at 100 feet out, your BAM or your ping is 30 feet wide. So practicing pitching at fish and kind of seeing the brightness of your bait compared to the brightness of the fish at shorter distances, and then kind of work out as you feel like you're getting better with it and getting reactions out of fish. Because a lot of people don't realize it's out at, I guess 80 feet. That's probably like 25 feet wide or so. So a lot of people feel like they see the dot out at 80, 90 feet and they can see their bait in the screen. Well, the fish can see it. Well, not actually. Your bait could actually be, 28 to 30 feet away from the fish, and still you pick up a slight return if you're running a bright gain or sensitivity.
I did not know that. I really did not know that.
Cone, baby. Geometry.
It is a cone. It is a cone. But you know what? I think he's right. A lot of people think, all right, the bait's coming right down on top of them, but you don't get that side to side how far you are. So what's a good, seriously, how can somebody get better at that? Because I do think what you just described is what a lot of guys feel like. The bait is right there. So you're saying by the return of the bait compared to the return of the fish can tell you if you're kind of close. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you can, for instance, if you pitch out a slow falling, big profile bait, you can pitch it out there, and as it starts sinking, kind of slightly rotate your trolling motor or your like a sniper pole. You can slightly rotate it and see how your bait fades away and gain like a memory to how bright it is when you dead centered it and how hard of a return you got off of the bait. Speaking in sense of 60, 70 feet out.
Did you know that? Well, I didn't know that. All you guys are shaking your head. And I'm like, all right.
I learned that quick.
Yeah.
I got one thing on that. So it's always, to me, about the density of the dot. So when you're looking at that dot, like what is the density? How bright is that return that you're getting on that dot? Whether that dot is the fish, whether it's the brush pile, whether it's a piece of structure, whether it's your bait, the density of the dot is what determines how in focus your beam is and in line you are with that fish. So like the brightest return when I'm trying to cast at a fish and line up on a fish, I want that absolute where that dot is the brightest to give you the best chance to put my bait in front of that fish. So like in clear water, yeah, you can have some lag. That fish can swim 10 foot to the right, 10 foot to the left, whatever. But the more density of that dot you have, you don't want it going in and out. Like you want, when you're facing your transducer that way, you want to be seeing that bait the entire time, because if you're not and it's going in and out, you're definitely not lined up like correctly with that fish and your bait presentation to be in the strike zone where you need to be for a lot of these specific fish. Like you can splash at a fish all day, but it doesn't mean that you're going to make that fish, give that fish a natural presentation and be able to entice that fish to bite if you're not lining it up perfectly. Like we're only getting more and more accurate with our casts. Like 10 years ago when Livescope was fresh, like you could just hit it close enough and they'd come up. Well, now they've seen so many baits and they've been casted at more precisely than ever. You have to be dialed in with your boat, like where your boat's positioned, and being able to line up with the density of the dot and make sure that you're presenting your bait as efficiently as possible. I think it's super important. And that's what's separating these guys from the others. I mean, you look at the Elite Series, 99 of the guys have forward-facing sonar on their boat. So it's like 99 of them are have it, but there's still a bottom 50 in every tournament. And when it's a Livescope heavy tournament and it's dominating, the cream rises to the top. And these guys that are more efficient, they spent more time on it. They've spent more time on the water, dialing in how to make that cast and how to properly execute on those fish. I think it's super important. And that's what's separating these guys, because they're learning that cadence, that how to actually hit the fish properly and present that bait to really make those fish bite and make them commit. Because it's a matter of just misplacing that bait just a little bit could cost you a couple bites. So definitely something to consider.
Yeah, to add to that, I'd say I do a lot of electronics trips, and one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is they're trying to watch their bait in the screen when they're casting at a fish. And I feel like it's the mistake is they're not keeping the transducer pointed at the fish itself and waiting for their bait to come into the screen. They're trying to find their bait and the fish. Well, if you're having to hunt, you're having to turn your transducer angle to see each, you miss. And I feel like everybody wants to watch their bait when, I mean, there's no need in watching your bait. You need to know if your bait is lined up on your shot. So you keep your eyes on your shot, whether it's a brush pile or whatever. There's no need to hunt for your bait. You want it to be in the screen with the target.
That's a good answer.
The bait doesn't bite, the fish does. So focus
That's
on
right.
the fish.
Okay, that's good. Lanier Coker, I want to make sure I get this question in real quick. He's wondering what's good past the morning bite on Lanier. Let me ask you two, how much experience do you have on Lake Lanier?
Never been.
Not much, but you do have on herring lakes. So pretty similar. So past the morning, Clint, Dave, either one of you guys chime in real quick right now. What would you be doing? It's tough.
It's tough right now. It's dog days, man. Past that morning bite when those fish aren't as active, you're trying to figure out where they're going and where they're going to go as those bite windows come through. So like locating bait is huge, but it's like figuring out once you locate that bait, how big is the bait? What are they eating? Like on Lanier this past weekend, they were eating like an inch long, tiny little thread fin to where I had to tie on a tiny little crappie jig to catch a couple, like a very like small 1-inch bait to try to match that hatch and like go get them when the bite wasn't as hot. And then when that bite window rolled around, I was like, oh, let me go try this old cranking deal that I was on a couple weeks ago. And boom, 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 3 casts, 3 fish. It was like I hit the bite window and was able to line up on those fish as they pulled back up. But once they are off of that, which like I feel like, especially this time of year, they're pulling up in the mornings for that like dawn, and then at dusk they're pulling back up there. But where do they go in between that? And so it's kind of a matter of like, okay, if they're going to pull up and do this in the evening and in the morning, they're going to push back out, but where and what are they going to set up on? The brush piles are getting absolutely hammered. So you're looking for those little anomalies of like, where is that bait traveling to where it's going to get eaten? Because they're not eating 24 hours a day. Yeah, their metabolism is moving fast, but like they're getting more and more particular on, I'm going to have small French fries or I'm going to have big French fries. So it's like finding those fish around the structure that you can actually present them a bait when they're willing to bite is huge, because you can run across a bunch of fish that are just chilling, swimming, or they're trying to travel and go somewhere where if you put a bait in front of them, they're like, oh, I just ate. I'm going to wait a couple hours on dinner kind of deal. So you have to really, it's hard to catch them in that transition period. You really want to find them in that a little bit closer to that bite window, trying to just line up and figure out where they're the most active, where is their bait present and fish present. Like if you're seeing fish bait balling super deep out on the timber, then that's those fish that you want to actually try to target because they're actively feeding. But if you're finding just fish and not a whole lot of bait around, it's really hard to get those offshore fish to bite.
Okay, well, there you go. That's the Lake Lanier answer right there for sure. You agree?
No, I've been finding good. I've been on a good largemouth bite ever since the water temp went down.
Yeah, and you
And,
fish shallow.
I've been 10 feet and less. There's been a lot of bait back there too, just like what they're seeing. And I've been catching some good largemouth.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. He has been catching. Now, I want to ask you guys this too. How old are each one of you?
22.
What do you say? 22, both of you, 22. How do you guys feel as young anglers, being as accomplished as you are, when you hear typically old farts, like myself, which I don't say this, but older guys saying that all you guys know how to do is scope, that you don't have any other skills. If they took the cheater box away from you, you guys would not be able to fish. I want to know first how that makes you feel as a competitive angler. And second of all, how did each of you learn how to fish? What are some of the things you did beforehand to kind of dispel that myth? Because I think that's a big myth with a lot of guys out there. They think if they're under 25, they can't do anything but pull up a Livescope. You know what I'm saying? I know you guys hear that. So how does that make you feel?
Go ahead.
I mean, it sucks for sure. Cause like, I mean, we grew up. I grew up fishing the bank. I grew up. My granddad had a lake, and all I'd do is go around it and skip a jig all day, just skip a jig and skip a jig. And I remember one of the first times I fished a tournament was with my dad, and we had 22 pounds on an A rig without scope. I mean, and all those times, I mean, the MLF National Championship at Kissimmee, didn't use live scope one time, didn't turn it on.
His Garmin unit was in my truck.
Yeah, kind of tough to turn it on if it's in your truck.
But you've had some people on here talking about the Coosa. They know before scope there was the bank. That's what you fished. It was the best angler on the bank that day. So
yeah,
I mean that's how we grew up fishing around here, at least.
I got you. Bible Bass TV on YouTube, on TikTok. How you doing, buddy? All right, Brody, answer that question. How does it make you feel when old guys say that there's nothing you can do without that scope?
It's annoying. I mean, I hate seeing the negativity on social media and stuff, and especially towards guys like Trey and Easton and those guys that, I mean, we're in a weird age class where we grew up fishing without forward facing. I loved 360. 360 was my favorite thing. I watched Polinick absolutely run the Elite Series with it, and I went and mowed a bunch of yards to pay for a 360, and I went out and practiced with it. But I grew up on Weiss. Like you said, it's a mud hole. Livescope still doesn't do anything there. And we caught fish. But I hate that it gives people a crutch to blame success on for the younger guys. And it's just a lot of guys that grew up doing just traditional styles of fishing, and COVID hit. COVID hit in a weird time where a lot of these guys were either in college, they were finishing out high school, or they're a year or two out of college. And when COVID hit, we had a lot of time on our hands in this brand new tool called forward-facing sonar. And, they were hit with this point in their life where, is this something I want to pursue? And if it is, well, this is the new technology. I'm going to work on it, and I'm going to get good. And I'm going to use everything that is built up to this moment, all my traditional tactics, and I'm going to use them and use the tool and put them together and get better, because that's what we're all trying to do every time we put the boat in the water.
I think that's a good answer. I'm one of the old guys that absolutely can't stand when I see people fussing about young guys can't do it without the scope. I think that's the biggest crop. It's just a bunch of crap. That's the way I see it and all that. I hit McKinney after his win the other day, and I was like, dude, that's a hell of a job. You just absolutely just waxed their ass up there on that. And not one time did it ever occur to me that he's using a scope, because everybody in that field used a scope. He just outfished everybody, and I just can't stay. I think it's really, you guys are talented. If you're a national champion at anything, you got some talent. It ain't because you got a box like that. And so I at least for this point, from one old guy to you younger guys, I do appreciate what you guys are doing. So at least you got a couple of old fart fans out there doing it. I'm serious though. I mean, seriously, it irritates me. Yeah. And I get it. If you don't feel like it should be in professional tournaments, that's fine. But don't say that these young kids have zero talent without the box.
No, it's absolutely ridiculous. And like I can tell you, with building cast and being able to jump in the boat with guys like Matt O'Connell or Brooks Anderson or yourselves, and then a bunch of other people, what you guys are doing, you can tell that the massive amount of time you guys have spent learning that, right? And really dialing it in and making sure, hey, it's a wavy, windy day on Lanier, but keeping your foot on that trolling motor properly so you're staying lined up with those fish, all the little nuances we talked about. That is skill, and that is something that takes time on the water. So, there's nothing you can take away from that, right? I mean, a million people can have forward-facing sonar, but you see the guys that have put the time into it, and it is definitely a skill, and it is earned from putting the time into that and fishing it.
I agree. Well, it's just like Easton. You know, he wins the Classic. And there's those guys out there that just all of a sudden just start hammering. And I'm like,
People
dude,
don't like change.
I'm
man.
like,
That's
dude,
the
you
thing.
you suck. You'd never be able to fish with him a day in your life. He would outfish you in a mud hole. Guys like them can go out here on Highway 53 in the asphalt and figure out how to catch a fish. I mean, seriously. So I'm like, just.
Would you want a doctor that wasn't up on the latest technology?
I would not want a doctor that's not up on the latest technology and all that.
That's right.
But at least, if nothing else, I want you guys to at least know there are a few guys out here that respect what you guys do. And when I get the young guys on there, I think the best business decision we ever made on this podcast was to learn all the young guys, because you guys are the future of the sport. So, and I don't care what any of the older people say. Let's say, Dalton, are you a fan of the Sakamata shad?
It's a good bait. It's another minnow. It's just a minnow.
Is it really as good as everybody makes it out to be, in your opinion, both of you? I mean, is it the end all of end all? Because I have more people say, "Hey, you got them Sakamatas." I'm like, dude, there's other options. I
mean, it's just confidence. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're confident in. They're gonna love it. It's just like, there's an old man confident about his old crankbait. He thinks he's gonna catch him on it, but.
That's right. That's right. Scroll on down and see. We are way behind in the comments section, so I know there's probably 100 other questions we haven't got to. See, David Weaver's still talking about P-line. That's how far back we are in the comments. Returns to brightest. Let's see. The cream does rise the crop. Okay, how about this? Stillwater films. Pull that up right there. This is a good question for you guys. What are your settings on your unit overall? Gain, color gain, TVG, noise reject, ghost tree reject, or do these changes depend on the conditions?
Yeah. What about color limit too? Nobody ever talks about that.
Well, hell, they ought to be able to talk for an hour and a half. So I'm gonna go back to the bathroom while they're doing this. Either one of you guys jump on there.
You can start off.
Take it over.
Do what?
You can start off.
Yeah, I'd say they change overall. Anywhere you go, you're going to run gain. Think about this. You're going to run your gain brighter on the clearer the water, the less amount of silt or silt particles in the water. You're going to run it lower on your dirtier water fisheries. It also depends on color palettes. Everybody has a color palette. We all see colors differently. We don't realize it, but we all do depict colors differently with our eyes. People find color palettes that work better for them. I like lava, but let's say Easton, for instance, likes rusted steel, or Dalton uses lava too. But your settings are going to vary depending on your color palette, and depending on lava is a tricolor palette. You're not going to run the same color limit and color gain as you would with a bicolor as let's talk like amber, for instance. Those settings vary depending on tricolor to bicolor, or how bright the returns is with the palette, whether it's a dim palette or a bright palette. So it's very versatile. It's very all over the board. Yeah, Dalton.
Yeah, I've seen it matter a lot more about going to switching from a clear fishery to a dirty fishery, or that's got like I went to a place that was absolutely choked out with pollen, and that pollen will absolutely destroy your live scope. I mean, it's ridiculous, and you have to play with your settings when you're seeing that. It really depends on the water conditions a lot more than people think.
Okay. You got any questions before I go to the next one?
I do.
Jump in there.
So Brody, on Guntersville, do you or either one of y'all, do y'all change your palette based off what you're fishing? For instance, if you're fishing stumps and basically flat bottom versus grass, and the reason I ask is I run active target, so I run the yellow whatever number that is, and on the flatter stuff with like stumps, but it seems like it's easier to see with the green when I get up in the grass. Do y'all ever change your switch palettes?
With the 32 transducer, I did the exact same thing. I went from amber fishing like more open areas, and I would go to the black emerald or whatever it is, the green for fishing grass. Now I feel like the technology is getting good enough. You don't have to make as many changes. I'm more comfortable with the lava. Some colors I really struggle separating them. So I really like the tricolor and the way I see the purple and the orange of it, no matter what I'm fishing. But sometimes I do feel like I should get more comfortable with other colors because there's definitely instances where another color could be better.
Okay.
Okay, Dalton, you got an answer on that, or
I kind of just stick to tweaking settings. Like I got a palette like that's good with me, and it's lava. I feel like I see everything that I can see if I just tweak the settings a little bit, like messing with my gain and stuff like that.
okay? Broke Bass Boys wants to know what's the main difference between fishing largemouth versus spots pre-spawn and during spawn that you guys find. So pre-spawn, spawn, you know, I know, of course, around here we all know spots spawn deeper than largemouth. Other than that, what are you guys seeing? What's the biggest difference between the two?
What kind of spots are we talking about? First off,
That's true. That's true. So we have Lake Lanier spots and then the rest of the world.
yeah.
Yeah, if we're being honest, that's yeah. What do you think he's talking? Coosa spots? Is that what they'd be fishing more often, or Coosa spots?
Dalton, go ahead. You're the master.
You're the master, Dalton.
I feel like we'll start off with which one's easier. I feel like the spots are easier, the pattern during the pre-spawn, because they usually move and I've just seen they move more in groups. Like they kind of move by the class of fish they are. Like I've seen, because a lot of the times the 5-pounders run with 5-pounders and the 3-pounders run with 3s. And I've seen that pattern a little bit more spots on the Coosa River. But the largemouth, it's during the pre-spawn, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of sporadic, at least on the Coosa River, at least. It's kind of sporadic finding the largemouth. Sometimes you can find them grouped up, but I definitely say the spots are easier.
Okay. All right. That's a good answer. That will work. Let's see. Going down there. All right. John Phillips, Headhunter LLC. No need to listen to those old farts. Their way of fishing is over. Okay. Hey, he's straightforward with that. Steve Billington said people cry about down imaging, cried about side scan. They'll cry about the next one. And let's see, we'll keep on scrolling down. I don't even know where the hell we are in the comment section. Guys, like when you listen, I can tell you a lot of people are paying attention from the amount of comments we're getting. So the guys are definitely listening to you. Tracy Coker, I'm getting the Mega Live 2. Any suggestions on typical areas to get used to using it? So when you guys and I guess that will go with anything, whether it's Garmin or whatever, but especially the Mega Live. How would you go about setting up a new unit on your boat?
I actually really like the Mega Live, and I haven't got the chance to play with the Mega Live 2 too much. I would definitely like to spend more time with it because just playing with the demo modes and stuff on the demo units looks really good. I'd say you want to get in the water conditions that you're faced with most. If you live in an area where you're fishing more clear water, your Lanier, Hartwell area, herring areas, you want to get in the cleanest water you can find. And you want to put your sensitivity at a mid-range, somewhere around your 50% range, and dial your contrast in from there. I'm not thinking about that backwards. I may be thinking about that backwards. Dalton?
The Mega Live?
No, just transit. I'm thinking transistors in general. Yeah, that's right. Sensitivity at a mid range and play with your contrast, because your contrast is gonna deal with your target separation. So sensitivity is just your brightness, how bright you're picking up. But your target separation is important because you need to be able to see the fish sitting next to the structure, not just one big bright blob. So you want to dial in that contrast and be able to tell the dimmer, less dense targets as opposed to your solid structures and stuff. And then balance your sensitivity from there. And that goes with anything you use, whether it's side scan, your 2D, your Mega Live, or your LVS 34. I feel like that's the best place to start with any of it.
Okay, good answer. Just for you there, Mr. Cast, sure would be nice to get a cash discount code. Type in FNGO and get 20% off. Yes, but Danny, ask the guys, have they used two graphs for forward and scout mode at the same time? Have either one of you done that?
Yes.
Dalton does. I do not.
All right, Dalton, explain that for somebody that's not familiar with that.
The main reason why I use it is because, I mean, it's just, I talked about it earlier, it's just efficiency. I don't, like, when I get in the situation, like, I went up north one time, and I could see I could go through this boulder flat, and I could see that all these boulders are the same, and you could notice that one of them is just slightly different. And on perspective, it casted a bigger shadow. And when you look out on forward, it was just slightly bigger, but you could look over it. But every fish I caught on that boulder flat was on those slightly bigger rocks, and the way I figured it out was perspective. But
Okay, that's pretty cool.
it's just like, it's very, very good to have it when it's good. You know what I'm saying? But as of right now, it kind of sits there. So when it gets about the right time, so like spawn, cruising fish, stuff like that, it's pretty sweet to have both.
Okay. All right, remember, anytime you got a question, jump in here. Just slap me and jump in. You got one?
No.
Okay, just make sure you jump in here. You guys know Tommy DiMattina?
Yeah,
did I say it right?
That's the camera guy that witnessed the.
Oh, that's camera guy, Tommy, right there. Dalton and Brody are monsters. They're monsters, man.
Tommy's the man.
That's cool. That's cool. Jeff Queen wants to know, who are the best college anglers that you have fished with that do not go to your school? And it's okay to like somebody from another school, guys. Okay, it's okay. Look at that thinking they got nobody.
I'm gonna go with the Nut Brothers. I mean,
okay,
everybody knows that name in the fishing world right now. There's some hammers. I mean, there's some really good anglers.
Yeah, I'd say so too. I mean, they're some of the few college guys I've actually fished with.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Now I got this question for you guys. So I mean, y'all got one more year of college, right? This is your last year. What's your plans after this? What do you want to do? I mean, what's your dreams and aspirations?
I want to build and make a living fishing.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. Does it matter where?
As long as I can make a living fishing, I'm fine with wherever I go.
Okay. All right. If you had your choice, what would you do? I'm gonna keep pounding. I get an answer out of you.
I mean, I feel
does it matter? Does it matter whether it's Bassmaster, whether it's MLF, or even if you get a job in the industry? Does it really matter to you at this age?
Not right now. It's just all about getting there. It doesn't matter really which one. It's just about getting there right now.
I got you. What about you, Brody?
Yeah, wherever I belong, I'll make it there as long as keep putting myself in the position. I don't care. Like he said, I just want to make a living fishing.
It's a good answer because they're not putting themselves in a corner. That's a good answer. I hope you guys do. Loomis on TikTok says, I'm starting my second year now. I don't know if he fishes with you guys and all that. Maybe he does. That's his TikTok name. Let me ask you this. You both are fifth-year seniors, right?
Yes, sir.
What's your responsibility on your team to an upcoming freshman or a sophomore or something like that? How does it work at your university?
Just lead by example.
That's the best. 100%.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. I mean, we have team captains and stuff. I was a team captain last year, and we try to help welcome them in and, kind of the do's and the don'ts. We have some meetings and talk with these guys, but try to build a relationship with them and help them, I guess, not be so shy. I imagine it's a pretty intimidating thing coming into a group of known anglers, I guess, Montevallo's had a very successful run over the last 4 years, and it's got to be an intimidating start to come in as a freshman. It was very intimidating when I was a freshman. So trying to just ease that process of getting comfortable And that's the biggest thing you can do.
Okay, good answer. Very
Fishing
good
is
answer.
up to them.
Yeah, the fishing's up to them. Absolutely. Dalton, you agree with that answer?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, that makes sense. So Cast Fishing Australia. I'd like to say that other word that them Australians say, but I can't say it. Yeah, you know the word. Do you know the word I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Them Australians got that one word, man. They can get away with it. If I went home the other day and I said that in front of my wife, I said, them Australians say that. And she goes, not in this house. You ain't doing it like that. You ain't Australian, Danny. So what an honor to have these two young men be a part of what we do. Humbling to see the caliber of guys that are helping us build casts from the ground floor. Small circle, big vision. And again, that's pretty cool that you guys have joined with a good company and all that. And it's high praise when a guy halfway across the world says that about you guys.
It's an unreal thing, man, and it's really cool to see. I'm sure Mick never imagined when he was fishing the Great Barrier Reef, throwing lures for GT, that we'd be sitting here, fishing North Georgia with you two guys, being a part of this in bass fishing, man. It's cool what fishing does, and I think that gets lost a lot. I can tell you from my perspective, growing this business, the most important thing or the coolest thing I didn't even realize was it wasn't about selling baits, it wasn't doing this, but meeting people like yourselves. And I learn from everybody. I go on really cool, adventures when I have time, and I'm not working 6 a.m. till 10 every day, but the people involved, and you two guys have really impressed me. I remember when we were going to do this shoot, I met Dalton through KJ Queen and Jeff Queen, and we went and did that shoot. You're like, hey, I want to bring my friend. And I said, that's cool, man. And I couldn't be more impressed with both you guys, and I'm super proud of you. So just want to say that.
Well, you sound like a father figure right
Well,
there.
I feel old, man.
Like,
I
seriously.
I drove up here. I got this mustache you teased me about, Danny,
That is like, I'm
but
serious.
I mean it.
I know you mean it. I know you mean it, but you sound really old.
Well,
Listen,
I'm not cool anymore, and I'm okay with that. I'm actually at a point in my life where it's cool to be cool.
What you guys don't understand is when me and Ryan get together and we have a few adult beverages, we get really loud with each other. We have a good time around each other. Phil Hutchinson wants to know, what's the fastest current in a river that you've had success with forward-facing sonar on?
That's when it just becomes a tool to help your efficiency. I feel like when you get in some serious speed of current, help you line up your shots, not actually like picking off individual fish, but picking out your most high efficiency cast.
Okay.
But I don't know the Mitchell tail race, it gets pretty ripping sometimes.
Yeah, like Phil's our resident fly fishing guy, so he always asks these weird questions.
The fastest one I scoped was probably Jordan, and probably around the spring. Just like you said, you're just lining up on something that's there. Like, you're not really targeting the fish itself. You're really just trying to make the cast really trying to make just the cast.
Fishing places that we've always fished, and we would roll up with an Alabama rig or a swim bait, and I'm talking like a 2.5 mile an hour current, maybe 3 if we've had some flood conditions, what we would used to pull up and drain our trolling battery down, because it takes us 5 to 10 casts to even get remotely close to the one boulder that's causing a current eddy. Now we can, make it in 1 or 2 casts.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Traveling fisherman, being able to go on adventure and fish and do what you love is a blessing. And now this fella's up here in Alaska. His wife is a travel nurse. So wherever she goes, he gets to go and fish wherever she's at.
That's right.
I mean, no, it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what my girlfriend's working towards. I need that to work out.
Yes, you do. Listen, I have a daughter that's in nursing. I tell you what, nurses make good money. I mean, and if you can get one that travel nurse, heck yeah, absolutely. Does Mega Live make a difference in a current situation like below a dam, on Pickwick, or in a river system? So I guess that's basically what you just answered, as far as instead of picking off individual fish, you're able to target your structure a little bit better. Did I say that right?
Yeah, just speeds up the process, helps with efficiency.
Speeds up the process. I want to make sure I said that right. Let's see here. Okay, I think we're caught up on the questions on YouTube and all that. You got anything? I'm doing all the talking. I mean,
You're doing a good job.
I know
bro.
you're thinking of something. Clint, you got something? I want to give you guys equal chance before I go somewhere.
One. So with bait innovations, like you're looking at ICAST, we obviously see a lot of like dice, more finesse stuff coming from overseas. And like, where do you see like, are the presentations only going to get more and more finesse as these fish get more pressured? Or is it going to be a bit of the opposite to where you're just trying to trigger them with bigger baits and things like that? Like, where do you see the industry going in the next few years as far as bait design goes to really like make these fish bite when the bite gets super tough and pressured in those pressured situations?
I mean, it kind of seems like both of them are going hand in hand right now, honestly. I mean, I see both of them just keep going. I don't think they're going to lean towards one or the other. I feel like it's going to keep just balancing out and just going for the next couple of years.
Have you thrown a dice bait yet? Be honest.
Yeah,
Look at Brody. Look at Brody's reaction right there. How do you like them? I'm just curious. How do you like them?
It's another tool in the box. I mean, it's all these new baits that come out. They get overhyped immediately, get overused, and then it becomes no different than anything else in your tackle box. It has a time and a place, but it's not just magical, mystical, best thing ever made.
Okay, I can see that. I'm gonna ask you both. What's the most overrated bait you've ever seen? Putting you on the spot. Most overrated bait or technique. How about this? So you don't have to call out a particular company. What's the most overrated technique or bait you've seen out there, in your opinion?
Does wings on a bait count?
It counts. Whatever you
100%.
think.
Wings on a bait?
Putting wings on a bait.
Like a Sakamata shad?
Well, adding wings to baits for the wrong reasons.
Okay. What are the wrong reasons?
Wings don't make a bait roll.
Listen, I'm going to ask these questions, and I'll ask you guys. You got to answer it like that. How about this? What's your favorite way to fish? Like, if you could pick one technique to fish for or to fish with for the rest of your life, and that's all you get for the rest of your life, what would be your technique?
Scoping with a jig.
With a jig. Both of you. Okay. All right. What do you think, Alex? What would be your one?
My one, shaky head, dude.
Shaky head?
Long. Yeah.
All day long. What about you, Dave?
Oh,
I know what Ryan's going to say. He's going to say that cast Echo Prodigy or whatever.
I was going to say top water.
Top water.
The only water, mate.
Top water. Yep.
The only water.
slow rolling a spinnerbait.
Slow rolling a spinnerbait. What about you, Clint?
I'd say cranking and yanking that deep plug. It's been
That was my close second. I almost went with that.
Traveling fisherman says spinnerbait. That's only because you've been on them lately with that thing. That's what's hot for you right now.
It's been a couple of years. That's the thing, is like been trying to dial it in, and it's only getting better. So it's fun.
Look at Tracy Coker says for Danny, it's the whopper plopper. I can't stand a whopper plopper. Do you guys ever throw a whopper plopper or a chopo?
Dude, it was hot on the Coosa for a couple of years.
It was hot till it got overhyped and overused, and it became another toolbox.
I tell you, dude, on that tail race behind Lay with a plopper about 4 or 5 years ago, you get your arm broke.
Yeah, I could see that. But still, a lot of guys are saying, and I don't know if you guys are saying this is what you'd like to fish with for the rest of your life. Tokyo rig. What's your opinions on a Tokyo rig?
I haven't smashed them on it or anything.
Yeah, I haven't utilized it too much. Probably haven't used it as much as I should, but I've always thrown like a power shot, which I feel like is pretty comparable.
I got you. Where's y'all's next? I guess the first tournament. Y'all's season, has your schedule come out yet?
Only the ACA side of things, because with the collegiate fishing, we have 3 trails. We have Bassmaster, ACA, collegiate bass, or ACA or collegiate bass, whatever you want to call it, and then the MLF stuff. We haven't received the Bassmaster, the MLF stuff, but I think our first ACA is the Kentucky Lake Big Fish Tournament, or the Big Bass Bash.
Yeah.
So that'll be like end of September.
What's the one lake that you wish is on the schedule, no matter whichever one it is? What's the one lake you want to go to? And you can't say Guntersville, and you can't say Lay or whatever, your home lakes. Pick a lake outside of your home lake.
Murray.
Outside of your home state.
Home state. Yeah, let's go outside of your state. Look at Brody's like,
Can't say Pickwick.
no, outside of your home state.
Yeah, yours is definitely Murray.
Oh yeah.
Murray.
Oh yeah.
Murray makes sense. Murray makes sense. What about you, Brody?
Either Toho or I'm growing really fond of Kentucky Lake. I used to wish the place would dry up. Now I'm starting to like it. I want to spend more time there. I'm gonna go James River. Forgot about James. Yep, James River.
Okay. What's the one lake that you don't want to see on your tournament schedule?
Cherokee.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Now you like Cherokee.
Yeah, I like Cherokee.
Well, in the summertime, no Cherokee. Pre-spawn Cherokee for sure. It's good.
I'm gonna be y'all are gonna hate this answer. Hartwell is my biggest nemesis in tournament fishing. So my partner's from Hartwell. That's definitely assisted the situation, but it's always been a nemesis of mine. I love going up there and fun fishing, but as soon as it gets tournament time, I just always find myself making bad decisions.
I understand that. I understand it. We all got that one lake. How many tournament boats are on the water during one of your tournaments on average?
220 to 250.
Good Lord. That's crazy.
What?
That is crazy. Yeah, you got to do that for sure. When do your seasons really kick up? So like if people want to follow you, when does it really start getting hot and heavy for you guys?
January. January is when all three schedules are pumping out tournaments. Yeah, that's when Bassmaster, MLF, and ACA are getting going. So that's when we're really on the road.
Okay, so Matt on TikTok wants to know who we're talking to. So we got Brody Robison, and then not Robinson, Robison, and Dalton Head, both of the University of Montevallo fishing team. So that's who we're talking to tonight. And if you want to see them, you can go on YouTube at FNGO. How do you guys balance? I mean, you're fishing 3 trails. How do you balance all the schoolwork that you have? And you're smiling, Brody, but how do you balance that with all the practice you got to do and the actual tournaments themselves? Because that's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of work. You got to make a lot of sacrifices for sure to do it. Yeah, the days you have that you're free before that tournament and you leave, you better be doing homework because you don't want to be doing it during. I mean, there's some stuff you have to do during practice and stuff like that, but I mean, we just try to get it all done before we go or on the truck ride there. The truck ride there is by far what saved me for sure.
Okay, let me add this before you go any further because John Phillips is correct. Matt on TikTok, but these guys are national champions. Okay, so we got the 2025 MLF National Champion, the 2023 MLF National Champion, plus the 2025 ACA National Champion, and then 2 times Bassmaster College Champion. I said that correct, right off the top of my head. Did I get that?
Yep.
Okay. Hell yeah, it's good. It is good.
You impressed me there, sir.
Yeah, I'm good or they're good because they're good. It's just easy for me to repeat somebody else's accomplishments. Cranking and Yanking wants to know 5 fish limit on all your tournaments?
Yes.
Yeah.
Other than the big bass tournament, of course, it's like the hourly weigh-in type deal.
Okay. And then Tracy Coker had a question. What's y'all's backup plan? If you can't get a job in fishing, what's your backup plan?
Mine's behind me. This right here isn't my boat. It's a boat I'm doing a carpet job in. I do a lot of boat restoration stuff at my house. Just carpet jobs, just small electronics rigging, pontoon floor and stuff like that. Been doing that last year. And then I also have my captain's license. I guide on the TVA when I'm able. Not able too much with our packed schedules, but it'll be there when we're done.
Okay. What's your degree going to be in?
We're both marketing majors.
Marketing majors. That's actually pretty smart for guys wanting to go into professional fishing because it's all about marketing.
So, if they start in January,
if you start in January,
when does the season end?
When does the season end?
Tournaments is that in X amount of months for 3?
And how many tournaments is that in X amount of months for 3 trails? So it starts in January. How many tournaments you guys going to fish on 3 trails when the season by the time the season's in?
When does school get out for you guys? Like May, June? So how long after that is the tournament still happening? So you're trying to cram in 3 trails between January and June. That's not really a lot of time.
No.
Yeah.
No,
So
sometimes we're going for a month or a month or a month and a half. Sometimes.
yeah, I fished the Toyota Series this year, and I only came home 2 weekends between January 18th and I think it was May 31st.
Good Lord.
So you're actually doing school on the road. You're not actually going to class.
Dalton has a couple in person, right? You had what? 2
Yeah,
last?
I got a couple in person. What I've been doing, I'll take like 3 online, and I'll take 1 in person. Like whatever my really hard class is that I'm gonna take for that semester, or whichever one I think is gonna be hard. That's the one I make in person, so I can talk to the professor. Like get in person time with the professor.
Okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense. You got to do that.
He asked how many tournaments. It's 4 Bassmasters, 3 regular season MLFs, and then 3 regular season ACAs plus your 3 championships. And they go from typically the end of January to we had our Bassmaster National Championship the first week of July.
Okay, that's pretty awesome.
It's
a lot of time on the road. You got something?
I do. Do either one of y'all qualify for the Ultimate Angler?
I did.
Cool.
I haven't.
Okay, so when does that happen?
The 5th through the 11th of October. You do realize they scheduled a big bass splash on top of that.
Did they actually?
Sorry.
Oh no.
Check out Bass and Big G. I had some buddies that were supposed to come up there from my old bass club, and I realized that they were coming the 11th and 12th. I called them yesterday. I said, y'all might really not want to come, but yeah, look at Bass and Big G website. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the big bass, and y'all are there from the 5th to the 11th. Y'all end on Saturday.
That's gonna be a disaster.
You think?
There's typically 500 anglers contending in the big bass splash.
It's usually 600 to 1,000 number of entries.
Yeah.
But it'll be 5 or 600 on the water Saturday.
Yeah,
easy.
Most are 3 to a boat, and then you have bank fishermen as well.
Correct.
And then we've got 200 in the Ultimate Angler.
Yeah, I think it's up to 200.
Oh wow!
And that's all on Guntersville?
Better
It's
start
on
booking your
Guntersville.
hotels, boys.
Well, yeah, we can figure that out.
Yeah.
That's absolutely a lot. What's that? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Y'all fish the ABT?
I fished the 100s.
Yeah, I haven't fished ABT.
Okay, all right.
I want to.
Alex?
This coming year.
You want to this coming year? Okay, Alex, you got anything for these guys?
No.
You
No.
good?
Yeah.
You got anything else for these guys?
Dalton, do you fish the Coosa River team trail?
I don't fish the Coosa River team trail. I fished a couple of their tournaments though.
That's pretty good. They run pretty well.
Yeah, they run them good.
What about you, Clint?
What's up?
You got anything else for these guys? No, we ain't doing a question tonight. Yeah. Question for the cast guys. What's the best all-purpose braid size? Shaky head, jig, and chatterbait. I can only afford 1 spool. Should he go with the 12 or the 20?
I feel like for overall the 20.
Yeah.
Like overall, I think
I'd
the
say
20 for sure.
Yeah.
20.
Same.
20 does everything. So there
But
you
I
go.
wouldn't throw a chatterbait or a jig on it.
No.
I mean, let me comment on that real quick. I think to answer your question, a lot of the techniques where you're going to reel into the fish, such as a drop shot or crawling a little swim bait on the bottom or something like that, the 12 is where you want to go with, where you're going to set the hook more often, like on a shaky head, a fluke, something like that. You want to go 20. I think 20 will be a little bit more versatile. But if you know you're going to fish a lot of finesse stuff, you're going to reel into them, I would go for the 12 because you can absolutely you can bomb both of them, but that 12 is pretty insane for par casting. Really just depends on your situation and what you're doing.
Okay.
And if you're throwing a chatterbait and a jig, I throw a straight fluoro, dog. Like, you're not going to get that much more action and effectiveness out of throwing a braid versus a fluorocarbon on a jig and a chatterbait, in my opinion. But
okay, well there you go. So, you guys got any social media where people can follow you on?
Yeah, I got an Instagram.
What's your Instagram?
Dalton Head Fishing.
Okay, what about you, Brody?
Brody Robison Fishing and Brody Robison on Facebook.
Okay. Well, listen, I know it's getting kind of late over there in your guys' time and all that, so I'm going to let you guys go. But first, I want to say thank you very much for just coming on, spending some time with us tonight, letting us get to know you. And now, we got every time somebody comes on the show, we kind of become fans of the guys. So now we can follow you guys and all that. So, I think what you guys are doing is pretty damn impressive. I mean, seriously, your resumes speak for themselves. When I have a guy in here talking about, the character that you guys got, what kind of people you are and the decisions you make and all that, and the fact that you guys are partnering with them and all that makes you guys even more impressive. And I hope as you go throughout your careers and all that, we can follow you and bring you back on and just watch you as you progress with each following step. So, kudos to you guys for what you've accomplished and all that. And again, you got some new fans tonight. So I want to, thank both of you for coming on.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having us, brother.
Yeah, appreciate you having us.
Yeah, and absolutely. And listen, next time, if you're going to go to ICAST next year, Dalton, we'll plan a little more time to hang out. Okay.
Yeah.
And you can bring Brody on this one too. We'll corrupt him down there. How about that?
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah. Just make sure you got permission, because if you hang out with us, you're gonna get in trouble. So anyway, listen, thank you guys for coming on again. And you guys on TikTok that watched, and you guys on YouTube, my goodness, y'all had the questions tonight. So one last question. Have either of you used the MRE from Tactical Fishing Company?
The MRE.
What is that?
Where's the MRE?
If you have not, explain it real quick, Alex.
It looks like a stunted crawl.
It's kind of on the back of chatterbaits.
It's got like
stuff.
a swim bait body and a fork. Like, it looks like a stunted crawl. It's got a little bit of a paddle on it. It's really good on a chatterbait.
We'll get some. We'll figure out a way to get you guys some. How about that? They say you
yeah,
need
that sounds
to,
good to me.
We'll do that. So anyway, I appreciate you guys joining us tonight. You guys, go get some sleep, some rest, and all that, and we'll catch you down the road. And best of luck to everything you do.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
all right, boys. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. And you guys, hey, listen, on YouTube, on TikTok, thank you guys for making my job easier. When you guys come with a ton of questions like that, it's really easy. And I'll be honest with you, these two cats, they're like cool dudes. I love hanging out with the younger guys. Makes me feel good. Makes me feel younger. Absolutely. So TikTok, YouTube, tomorrow, 12 o'clock. Join us. Appreciate you, traveling fishermen. Join us for another lunch break. We'll talk about it. Jeff Queen, first time listening. Awesome show. Thank you very much. Danny, what is the braid you recommend that I need to try? Cast X12 or 12X or whatever the hell you say. What do you call it?
X12.
X12. It's just good braid. So anyway, you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Just buy the stuff. We ain't got it here at Fish, North Georgia, because I can't afford it. See you, Matt. But anyway, you guys be good. We'll see you tomorrow at 12. And then, of course, we got another one Thursday night. Danny, I was ready for the IBM 5150 question of the night. Did you know on this day, back in 1981, IBM came out with their first personal computer, and it was the model 5150, which is Van Halen's first album with Sammy Hagar. So I'm instantly a fan. So there you go. You guys, will catch you on the next one. Y'all be good. We'll see you later.